Chrome or Safari because it's live streamed on YouTube.
No, okay. No, it's just
we will get demonetized.
Was setting up the alert, Griff. You forgot the step. Come on.
Sorry. Okay, Luca. Sorry.
Yeah, I've caught some bugs in Safari, like
Chrome or Safari because it's live streamed on YouTube.
Hold on. Okay. No, it's just my bad. Okay.
button borders and the few other things. Button borders like loading dots that you see on Chrome and then Safari, they don't show up properly, and some scroll bugs on one page, but it should be like 100% working in Chrome, and I'll go and fix those stuff in.
I have a question for you guys in terms of support, right? Since we're doing like a prototype MVP, and actually I just had this discussion with developers in the company about, the market share of each browsers. It seems to me that a lot of times things like Safari or EA, or I mean, it's Edge now, right? They make altogether like 10% of the market. Yeah. So I think at this point, if you're okay with it, I would go with Chrome and Firefox because they're the first two, I think. The only
Brave. For our users use Brave a lot.
Yeah, of course, I use Brave as well, but I think it's the same engine as Chrome, so it should work, right? Yeah, the only issue is, Microsoft and Apple. So I would I just had this great, amazing idea. Luca just dropped support for Safari and everything else.
I think that's unless Marco has or anyone else has an aversion to that. I've never had any group in crypto try to provide support for Safari, and definitely
okay. I mean, it's something that we can do. Just I think it's a bit of a hassle since there's a lot of transitions, and Luca is going to waste like in proportional amount of time for the benefit that we get, right?
Dude, anyone who uses Safari knows that they get shit on like in crypto.
I use Safari.
Wow.
I told him that when I first saw him, like, you use Safari, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, not in crypto. You don't.
No, I use Brave as well. I use it for like the secret stuff.
I don't even think MetaMask works for Safari, right?
No, it doesn't. No.
There's no crypto apps that work for Safari. They just don't. So.
Apple is generally really against BitTorrents and crypto, and I get it why. It's decentralization, and they're very much like decentralized type stuff. I mean, there's a argument for both sides, but let's just drop the Safari.
We're not trying to get to every user. I mean, we're the crypto audience. So the other thing is with Danny is talking about working on the narrative, but maybe the Figma isn't the best place to do that, or is it? Would the front end, would it make sense for her to make comments directly into the front end somehow?
Maybe on Jira board.
Just a sec. Danny, do you have access to Figma already? And are you familiar with it? And is it okay for you, or Google Docs?
I have access to it. I can comment on it. I would be happy to actually make the edits rather than just putting it into comments for somebody else to do, because that would be more efficient.
Would you prefer a Google Doc with the content that is already on each page, slide, or whatever, and then just make some edits there?
Yeah, I can do that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, whatever's easiest for Luca. I mean, in the end, the design and Google Docs, they become a middleman. So I don't know. Right. I'm really curious to hear how Luca wants to play it too.
Well, if I can just interject, I think the idea of editing the actual HTML, because it's not just plain HTML, it's Vue framework, which is much more complicated. So I would recommend that we go, the document, the pathway through the document, Figma or Google Docs, whatever, and then we can basically, I'll take all the changes and put it in our Jira so that he can, get to it when the time presents itself.
Yeah. So my suggestion would then be, Danny, for you to open the dev synthesis commons simulator link or whatever, and just copy paste the existing content, make some edits or whatever, and based on that content, we'll just replace it with a new one, as well as suggestions for any different background images. Put a link to an image that you think is great, we can download. Make sure it's just a big size. Unsplash, I got all the images from Unsplash, which are free, totally free to use. And when you're done, and so when you're done, just share us the doc and we will update the front end.
Okay, perfect. So I kind of started doing that already, and was just figuring out how to do the comments into Figma. So I'll just skip that step.
Yeah, you can skip that and the Google Doc, and they're fine.
Perfect. Yeah, and just the other thing in going through it, there's a lot of information that we kind of reserve to be in graphics, and those graphics aren't there. So I just sat and talked with a gal who thinks she can crank that out in very few hours for us, something that we'll like for that. So I asked her to put together some samples to share with us to get those final slides, or maybe even the whole slide set. Something that actually tells the story with some infographics around it, because there's definitely some pieces of the puzzle missing from the text that we need to have in those images.
Yeah. Currently, we have just a couple of them that the illustrator previously provided us. So we just put those there, and where those were missing, I just added the text there. So if we can get a little bit more, that's fine, and we can update it always.
Perfect.
Other than that, Griff, do you want to go first? No, okay. Do your thing. No, I just wanted to say something after Luca's update regarding the UI and fixing small issues and stuff like that. For me, what's left to do is the QA for this sprint, and today I also reviewed the current front end and sent Luca a bunch of UI revisions that need to be done. Like, these are small changes, as well as some of the behaviors on mobile. So he's going to probably work on that part as well. And I also just left a comment in the Figma for you, Griff. I mean, I mentioned you, but you don't obviously have to do it. Maybe Danny can take over that part as well. On the results page, we have the example charts to display to user, like how it should be, like what is the best chart to be displayed, as well as some glossary terms, like what means, what these terms mean actually. So for each chart we have metrics glossary and example chart. This is the missing content that we need actually for the results page. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that so it doesn't get forgotten once we get to the end, that we have actually that content ready.
Okay. So you're asking for some support on the getting some example charts and glossary of terms and metrics.
Yes.
Metrics don't exist yet. We're still working on that one.
Okay. I just had terms. Yeah. So that's basically on the results page when those three graphs are being generated or charts, so that people can then click on the whatever glossary, and it says, oh, we're showing you this, and this means that, and this means that. And as well, there was in an original document for the narrative, there was an example link to an example chart that shows how, what's the best future or something like that. So for all three, we might want to show something. If we have that would be great. If not, we can just remove the link. But if we can get that would be great.
Yeah, one thing that's really cool is that the charts, by their nature, you can't have the three best charts, because the best funding pool chart will actually be opposite of the best price chart. So that's kind of a fun little piece that you can't optimize for all three perfectly, and because they affect each other. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, we can even make a one page showing three charts in relation, and then another example, when you click on the second one, the different relation, those three charts, and then, you know, something like that. I don't know. Whatever you think is best to communicate, you know, the output and the charts, as well as any terms that need to be explained to user what they mean, so that they can interpret those charts on, you know, their own, and learn along the way, of course.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, after this, okay, it sounds like we need a little bit of a work session on that. I'm totally down for, I just need it scheduled because I'm like not possible to do anything unless it's scheduled, sadly, at this point. So, but I would love to have a work session on these results page.
Yeah, I would suggest if anyone can send a link to some example charts and any glossary terms or whatever, put it there in a doc or whatever, and then you can go and review it. We can do it async, and then, you know, figure out what's the best final one to pick from those or something like that.
Okay. Okay, cool. And then after this call, Sem and Luca, can we just stay after to look at the API calls?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully we can end the call relatively quickly and just still be in the hour. You see, and then you guys said you needed help mapping the values to JSON. Is that also part of the API call piece, or is that separate? Okay. Okay, perfect. Then I think that's everything. Is there any other questions on the front end?
Yeah, I was just gonna say one more comment. Basically, Luca is building like a JSON body to be sent to the cadCAD. We just need to, she's probably just going to show you what it looks like from his side and try to figure out which numbers go where, right? So it's like,
yeah, we'll go over that.
Okay, cool. Okay, then I'm not needed anymore.
Okay, cool. Well, then let's move on to cadCAD updates. Andrew, you got it. We're ready?
It's ready. I got it. It's working and it doesn't crash.
Wow, nice.
So, yeah, go on.
Ahead. Well, I was just going to give people context that Andrew had it working for like once every third time. It would actually give the data, but other times it would just like, oh, broken. So now that it's consistently always going to give an answer. So that's good.
Yeah. The reason why that was happening was because the data, the directed graph was getting corrupted. And so I was thinking, so right now the plan is to do more like quality of life updates. So it would be nice, for example, to be able to control from the command line how many days the simulation runs for and all that stuff like that. Do you guys have any idea like how long it should run for the front end for the game?
2 years.
Oh, that's a lot of days. Okay. And I noticed that the slider in the hatcher, for the hatchers in the front end, it goes up to like hundreds of hatchers. That's gonna be like take a long time to simulate, just so you know. So I have like 5 hatchers, and that executes reasonably quickly.
Yeah, actually have a point here that we can maybe go over for minimum and maximum values for each of those properties.
Yeah, I noticed with that hatcher one, you can't actually pick the actual number you want very easily too.
Yeah. Well, we can. I'll get that. But yeah, just minimum maximum values that should be allowed, so I could implement some sort of check for that.
Yeah. So okay, so we have that, and oh yes, so the quality of life improvements. Right now I basically want to ensure that the directed graph is impossible to corrupt going forward. So this means that I will take a look and maybe change the data layer, and maybe add a data abstraction layer so that any operation that touches the graph has to go through. I mean, I have that at the moment, but it doesn't do all the operations that every policy might need to do, because those would be like, that would be too many to code. But it looks like we have to do that to make sure that nothing gets corrupted in the future. Because if a policy can just do anything, a badly coded policy could probably, like, you know, break the simulation several steps down the line, and we don't know which policy the error came from. So it's best to have that all encapsulated in the data layer. So, okay. And then the quality of life improvements and the data thing going forward. Yes, and hopefully, Griff, you can find someone else to actually finish the rest of the policies and stuff like that, because yeah, I'm in maintenance mode for this thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, on that note, I have a doc that Jeff and I put together. Maybe I'll just share it here. And I would love it if you could look at it too. Sorry, taking notes. I just put it in our dev team channel. And if there's any kind of extra data there, that we're just passing this to a few people that we believe are qualified enough to give some support on this. And the general idea is that you would still help, but not be the main engine, right?
Yes. Yeah. So I'd be like, there's like a sort of technical advisor role.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, if anyone knows anyone who wants to support cadCAD, ideally someone has a data science background and is down to tune the model, because the model Andrew has is basically complete, but now we just got to make it actually give the results, like do some tweaks to make it give the results that make sense. Oh yeah, and the other thing, Andrew, is the actual outputs with Mr. Black, and making sure, because right now it's still showing the collateral in the reserve and the token supply instead of sentiment and price of the token.
Oh wait, price of token is included? I didn't hear about that before.
So the outputs should be the price of the token over time, the funding pool amount as it changes over time, and the sentiment over time.
Okay. Okay.
And right now it's like funding pool is in there, but then it's like collateral, the reserve collateral, and the token supply, which just aren't very exciting to look at.
Sure.
Did Mr. Black ever get back to us on that?
Well, I fixed his front end to work with my simulation now, so I mean, there shouldn't be a problem with that. But the old front end, which you asked him to work on, I did some work on that, but it turned out to be a bit more involved because it's actually generating the graphs on the server part. So I don't want to deal with that. And I think it's better to just leave it to the front end to do the graphing.
Okay. Okay, cool.
What is the deadline for completing all the cadCAD simulation? Because
I think it's never really going to be completed.
I reformulate the question. Can we decouple the front end and the cadCAD? We can continue with the front end and have a working thing with what we have already now, or we will need to do some changes yet.
You mean on which code?
On the code that we already have now? Is it?
We have Mr. Black's JavaScript backend, which works with my thing. And we have the old Flask thing, which doesn't work with my thing. And there's quite a bit involved there to get it actually working.
Okay.
So which one do you mean?
What will be the final backend? We are going with Mr. Black.
We are going with Mr. Black's JavaScript backend.
Okay. And it is already working with, it's already giving the results that we want to the front end, as we have seen, as we have seen before, that the code is receiving the data, right?
Yes, it knows how to get the data from my thing. So I just tell my thing to output the token price and sentiment, and the JavaScript backend doesn't know anything about that. It just passes it straight towards the response.
Okay. And the thing that we said last time about the logs, to send them back to the front end within the API, is that possible yet?
Wait, what log?
The logs.
The logs. The log
no, it's not sending the logs. It's not sending the logs.
That will be interesting, I think. But
okay,
maybe
I can pass the entire output like that.
Then yeah. Then the bounty that you have been preparing regarding those 2 weeks is to finish what exactly? I didn't understand very well.
The what?
And that document that Griff sent regarding.
That's because we need more support for Andrew on the cadCAD. He's got another job and doesn't have the time to like finish it all the way with tuning and the pieces. So we have the model, it's there, but it doesn't give, like, we actually need to like look at the results that the model gives and then be like, oh yeah, we need to tweak it so that like the 6 inputs are actually sensitive. So when you change one of the 6 inputs, it actually changes the outputs, you know, and that the outputs, you know, make sense. You know, like that if you know, that they're not always, like the price isn't always going up, you know, sometimes the model should fail, right? And just do these little tweaks. But it will take
also, yes, that exactly what Griff said. And also we need, because we have unit tests, but we don't have higher level macro tests. And I have no idea how to do that. Because like you would say, oh, if I do this parameter like this, then the simulation should go more in this direction. So how are you going to express that in a macro level? Like, so more participants should something like that, or, you know.
Basically, we need a little bit of data science help.
Okay.
Like looping through and making loops to check if these, you know, the parameters are sensitive. And I don't think it's like, it's pretty well scoped. So if someone has a data science background and then also interest in learning cadCAD for simulating economies, then it'll be huge. Like, I think they could learn a lot by playing with this and have a huge success because it's really, really well scoped and not nearly as intensive as a lot of other projects that might want to use this. So it's definitely a good like intern type data science want to get into crypto economic simulation like role, but we have to find that person.
Well, I'm actually interested in everything you said, but I'm at entry level, so I can't really help you. But if you find the guy, I would really like to shadow him and see what he does.
Yeah, right.
I just wanted to recommend Simon over here.
Yeah, but I'm not there yet. I
know, but
6 months of Coursera to do.
I don't think so. Well, maybe you think of yourself like that, but
well, listen, if that was the only thing I need to do,
I know, yeah.
If that was the only thing, then definitely. But I can't go back to college at the moment.
Yeah, and specifically, if you can't guarantee that you will actually deliver it, then I totally understand. But this would definitely be interesting for you.
Definitely. I talked to Griff about the simulation part of the entire cadCAD, and after he actually explained it to me, I'm more interested in like the side of crypto simulations, as you said, than actually, you know, like doing, I don't know,
wallets.
Wallets. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is the thing. It's a sexy opportunity. All we need to do is find the right person who's got some time, and is not this, you know, CEO or whatever of some CTO of some company. Ideally, they're more like on the like, oh yeah, I'm here to learn. You know, I just got out of college, or I just quit my job and I'm going full-time crypto. Want to learn economic simulations. That kind of guy. They need strong Python knowledge and a data science background. And intrinsic motivation. Those are the real 3 requirements. And I guess time. But yeah. Well, anything else on cadCAD that we should talk about, Andrew?
Listen, guys, I just let you know I got to bail. So if that's okay with you guys, if you don't need me anything, I'll have to drop off.
Nope, it's cool. Thanks,
okay,
Simon.
See you in a week then.
Yep, see you next week. Bye. Great work this week, man.
Thanks, man. It's all Luca. You'll have him here. Sam, you had something for me?
No. I was saying to you, bye. See you next week.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, see you next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, Andrew, the only thing I really would beg is just trying to get those outputs to be the sentiment, the price, and the funding pool. That's the big thing.
Sentiment and price. No, we have the funding pool. Yeah.
Yeah, we have the funding pool, but yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Is there anything else, guys? Obviously, Luca, Sam, and I will hang out here and talk APIs, but
yeah, maybe one thing about the API call. When I get the data, do I get like the status if it's good or bad outcome, or do I need to calculate it somehow based on return parameters?
That part's just not done yet. That's what we're looking for, the data science person to come and like look at the data and one of their tasks would be to create metrics and kind of a score for each of the 3 graphs. And that will be that would be really fun, honestly, to be able to like, you know, give each graph a score and be like, oh, this funding pool, it like made a lot of small proposals pass. Like that's a good score. And the funding pool went up or it went down, you know, like if it goes up, then it's a good score for the funding pool. Oh, price would be easy, right? You know, low volatility and constant up is probably a really nice price graph. You know, sentiment, probably the same. You know, low volatility and constant up be a good sentiment graph. And we just need someone to actually put in the work to take data and turn it in, you know, transform it into a score.
Okay.
Can we, Andrew, before you leave, maybe that's something that, do you have the parameters that the front end must send right now with the current parameters from the game.commonsstack.org?
So you mean do I have example output or what?
Yes, probably Luca already have it, and he's just figuring out what does the parameters mean.
Yeah, I have pasted here something I can.
Wait, didn't I send it to you on July 31st, Sam? Telegram.
All right, I'm going to jump out, guys. I'll put together the Google Doc for the narrative and get back to you with some illustration ideas, and also following up with Radical Exchange, just so you know, because we're at a place where we have something we can show them.
Yeah, awesome.
That was, yeah. All right, thank you guys so much. Have a great day.
Thank you, Danny.
Yeah.
Hey, Danny.
Bye.
Bye.
Wait,
Andre, you shared with me the output, but I guess that the input, I have seen it somewhere in the group or something like that. The actual 6 parameters. Maybe Luca already have them.
Isn't this in game.cs? Like, this is for Mr. Black stuff, right?
Okay, you want the input. Let me paste this in. Let me paste this in the Telegram channel. And
okay. Okay, that's the thing that I was looking for.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay. So we have the number of hatchers, the number of proposals, the hatch tribute. The hatch tribute is a number between 0 and 1, or
yep.
How is it? It is a number between, it's a float, right?
Yeah, it's a float.
Percentage, I think. Yeah, so from 0 to 1, I guess.
It's from 0 to 1 or from 0 to 10 to 100?
No, 0 to 1. It's all 0 to 1.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we have the best thing that probably...
We don't do vesting anymore.
Yeah.
Wait, what? We don't do that?
Well, we have to do it for the simulation, but we don't do it. It's not an input. We have to do it for the simulation. The simulation needs to simulate vesting, for sure. But the user doesn't change it.
Okay, sure. So, yeah.
Okay, we have a fixed vesting. The exit tribute, we also have it. Kappa is fixed. And then
Kappa
is fixed.
Okay, you're right. Kappa is fixed, yeah.
Because
alpha is not fixed. Kappa is fixed.
Exactly. Then we have days to ATP of max voting weight.
Oh, yeah, Griff still needs to send me the equation for that.
This can be transferred to alpha.
Sam, you have that equation, right?
Yes. I have it actually right here. If you want me to share it.
Yeah, throw it in CSD dev. And Marco, I think we're the deep dive of the API stuff. So you're free. You can of course hang. But
no, you guys don't need me anymore. Then
we always want you, but we don't need you.
Okay, I'm gonna stay there. I'm gonna stay here.
It's the alpha equals 0.8 times something.
Actually, if we are already sending to the backend that number of days, Luca doesn't have to convert it to alpha. which is, if it's not needed, then the formula is not needed either.
The simulation will need, the simulation is missing the conversion.
Okay. I already sent that, but I can send it again. Let me
okay,
see.
I think I see it. It's 0.8 to the power of 1 over t. In
Exactly.
what units is t again?
Days.
Days.
See, yeah, let's use days. Because
okay.
we are saying how much days, then t is days.
Let me write this down somewhere.
Well, it actually could be seconds. So you have to transform days to seconds. Because if we go for very big alphas, if we want I'm not really sure if they should be days or seconds.
Oh man, you need to figure this out.
The user's only going to have options of days.
Yes, for sure. But then the days should be transformed to seconds. Maybe. I don't know how is it going to be.
In the simulation, everything is in days, right? Right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Everything's in days, so I would say it'd be a little wild to change it.
Okay, yeah, then it's okay. It's just that we are transforming it to seconds in the smart contract because we have a lot of granularity in which we are seeing how conviction is growing second by second. But I guess that if everything is in days, then it will work with days.
So is alpha in units of days or t in units of days?
It's the time in units of days, and then alpha is 1 over 8. Yes, it's 1 over. Sorry. Yes, it's 1 over 8, and everything power to 1 over days. That's the transformation formula in which you get the half-life. Well, in that case, is instead of the half-life, how much is it going to take in order to the alpha that you need in order to have a conviction that it is going to be 80% in a certain amount of days. It's a bit strange, but the formula is that. Then we have the distribute and the max proposal request. I guess that we could also have another parameter, which is the mean threshold. But I don't know if we could fix it by the moment. It's a parameter that we are using lately very much. We didn't have it in the map before the Aragon, before Block Science did the documentation for conviction voting. So we actually have 3 parameters, which will be half-life, max ratio of the how much funds you can request per proposal, a maximum, and a minimum. But yeah, we can avoid setting the minimum by now, and maybe in the future, because the screens are already done, and it will be a bit more difficult to set it up in the front end.
I should point out that for all of these arguments are optional, so there are defaults for them. I'll try to get the command line to print out the default values for these.
The two parameters that are not going to be set and they are going to be fixed are kappa and the vesting, and the rest are going to come from the front end. And Luca, the parameters are for the proposals page, the number of proposals.
Mm-hmm.
From the hatchers, I don't know the levels now.
Yeah, can I go over quick and share the screen so I can just double check?
Yes.
Where do I share the screen? Record? No. Share screen. Screen number this one. Okay, see. So here I have, this is the stuff that goes into that I send, the parameters. So hatchers are basically level 1 founding members, right? How many hatchers?
Yes.
Okay, level 2 proposals. How many proposals should be collected? That's, yeah, proposals.
Yes.
Then hedge tribute. Level 3, is this the hedge tribute? I found it like here, it says hedge tribute.
Yeah.
So this one is hedge tribute, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then level 4, how much community funds can be distributed at any given time? That's level 4 proposals, max size.
Exactly.
Okay. Then level 5, I have.
Proposal max size is now renamed to max proposal request.
Max proposal request. Like this, max underscore proposal underscore requests.
Yeah. Request without the S.
Okay. Then on level 5, I have days to 80% of max voting weight. Is that it?
Yes.
These are the days, so yeah. And level 6 is exit tribute. Yeah?
Yes. And we have kappa and vesting that will be fixed. And I don't know what to set, but I guess that 3 and a 60, 3 for kappa and a 60 for vesting. We may change them later. But.
Yeah, I would start with 120 for vesting and 2 for kappa.
So I set it up here and in my front. How much for kappa? 2? 2.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
3 kappa is like Ponzi shit.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll set those to fixed then, and every other is actually connected. Okay. Then. Yeah. Basically, that's what I wanted to like double check, just so everything checks out, it seems. That's kind of wraps it up for me, I guess. I mean, that's the last question I have.
So I confirmed that I should run the simulation for 2 years for the front for the game, right?
Yeah, and ideally we would be able to have like, 150 hatchers.
Ooh, Jesus. Let me run something with that.
The big thing here is that's like what the TEC will be having. So it would be weird not to have that many hatchers as an option.
Well, it took 3.21 seconds.
That's okay.
Okay.
Like, there's some magic about that anticipation,
But that's only for 30 days. That's only for 30 days, guys.
Oh no. Ooh, Luca. The params. Thanks, Luca.
Well, we are going to have a good server. That's the simulations.
Oh yeah, that's true. This is
hey
just
guys,
on the computer, right?
You're waiting longer for a transaction to confirm on the network, so
that's
yeah, you're gonna wait for cadCAD.
Even on XDAI.
Yeah.
Actually, and minimum and maximum values. So for proposals, is there like a set maximum?
For proposals of set max,
No.
50.
50. Okay. Minimum is like 1, right?
Yeah.
And
actually, the proposals, if it works as it was working, we are setting up the initial proposals.
Yeah.
But then the number of proposals increase.
Yeah. It's just the initial. This is the input. It's just the like at Hatch. There's 50 proposals for people to vote on.
okay. Hatchers, you said like, do I set it to 150 then for max?
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
Minimum is 1, or
minimum should be like 3.
3. Max.
I think we discussed already 3 was the minimum number.
Yeah. Hedge tribute, that's like 0 or 0.01 to 1.
I would say 1%. 1% to 99%.
9%. Okay.
I mean, 99% would be pretty brutal, but I guess right now current donations are 100%. So I guess it's not unheard of.
Exit tribute, that's also from
0.1% to 80%.
0.1%, or?
Yeah.
Okay. And the days, days to 80% of max voting weight, min max.
Days to 80%. So it'd be like 1 day to maybe 60 days.
In that case, we have button ratios, and you can set up a customized.
Yeah. So yeah, I wanted to interrupt here. In the UI, we actually have an input field where a user can enter his own values. So it could be any number of days or years or whatever. So limit that to a max amount, and we should know that. Change that so the user can then either choose between a minimum and a number, as well as if they want a free form input, and then we also should limit that input to some number. So just let me know what is the max number of
what this I gotta lean on Sam on this one because he is the conviction voting maestro. Do you think over 60 days to reach 80% vote power would make sense, Sam?
Depends on the community. If you are deciding the independence of a country,
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, there are things that you need a lot of conviction.
That's true. What about for radical exchange meetups?
I actually don't know. I learned from you that you were thinking on days instead of blocks. So for me, it was crazy that a conviction voting like that could be could be during like 1 month or 3 months. So I would not go for years, but if people want to set those numbers, they have a custom input there in order to do that.
I can set the limit on the custom input too.
Yeah, I would set a limit of 60 days. I mean, it would be kind of ridiculous, I think, for a radical exchange meetup group to need 60 days of voting, or of like, I'm going to vote to pay for pizza for this meetup group, you know, and it's going to take 60 days for my power to build up. I mean, unless, of course, they're buying land, then maybe 60 days makes some sense. But
I will not limit anything, and maybe people is using it for something else.
Well, except the narrative is for radical exchange meetups.
But we are also building the front end for anything else, right? I mean, even if the narrative is something, the rest of the interface can be used for anything else related with conviction voting.
Yeah, that's true. Well,
I mean, if it's not computationally expensive to like compute any number of days, then I can just don't put any limit on the custom input. So.
No, in that case, it's not, because it's just a calculus. It is not like setting up a lot of participants or a lot of proposals in which each new node in the network exponentially increases the computational cost. In that case, it's just a number.
I just dropped an image from the simulator. So the upper, if you open a chat, so the upper selection is what we currently have, and the bottom one is that I just created based on what we just talked. So instead of having 30, 90, 6 months, 1 year, and a custom value where you can also switch between days and years, we could have 7 days, 30 days, 60 days, and a custom value that is fixed in actual days, not years. So whatever we decide on, we can just change that.
Could we do could we do 3 days, 14, like 3 days, 10 days, 30 days, 60 days?
Yeah, 3, 14,
3, 10, 30, 60.
3, 10, 30,
60.
So 3, 10, 30, 60. Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, I think 3 days makes sense for some things. You know, 10 days makes sense for some things. I don't think 60 days makes sense for anything related with radical exchange meetups, but it could. Thanks, Marco. That's great. See, glad we had you.
Yep.
And the last thing, the voting power, it's also percentage. So from like 1% to 100%, or
voting power?
Max proposal requests.
Oh yeah, I think that's got to be like max 50%.
Okay.
Right, Sam? Like beta, never more than 50%, right?
Well, if you want to, I don't know.
No, come on. There's nothing that we want to be able to just deplete. It's got to be a sustainable. We're trying to build a sustainable system here.
If you want to limit people because you don't want them to spend everything in just one round.
Yeah. In fact, I had a conversation with Zargam yesterday. This is a bit off topic. I'm sorry, Luca, but he was saying that it'd be really important that in the Gardens template, we actually put in some governors, like some limits that people would have to fork the code to have, for instance, beta over 40%, and that way we could have some kind of certification process where it's like, oh, these guys forked the code so they could change theta. They're probably scammers. Watch out,
Okay.
Anyway, we can talk about that later. But yeah, I would say for beta, it should be somewhere between I don't know, even like 5% to 50%.
Right.
Right, Sam? Like less than 5% would be kind of horrible.
No, actually, we are using. No, yeah, no, yeah, you are right. You are right. We are using 10% at OneHive at the moment.
And that's pretty conservative.
Mm.
Okay, that's all the max and mins, right, Luca?
Yeah.
Any other blockers for you?
No, not really. I think I've covered it all. Inputs connected. Yeah, just the simulation score, so I can. But maybe I can. I don't know. Put somewhere a button to just toggle between good and bad outcomes, so you actually can see the looks of both.
Yeah, I'm sorry that you guys are speeding ahead of us. We don't have like a good,
it's fine. Yeah.
Good metrics yet.
Yeah, that kind of wraps it up.
Okay. Well, I'm supposed to run to another call for the SoftGov of the TEC. So does anyone else need anything? Oh, nice. Does anyone else need anything? Okay. Well, great call, guys. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks.
See you guys.